What's up, everybody? Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, back with you once again for week number 9 Ivy League football preview. And again, we're bearing down on the end of the Ivy League football season, so there's a lot at stake this weekend on the gridiron. Let's begin our week 9 previews by going up to Rhode Island, where the Brown Bears welcome the Columbia Lions. And you have to like how the Columbia Lions showed that Columbia grit last weekend in their victory against the Harvard Crimson. They won by 1 point, 21-20, but it was the way they did it, despite the turnovers, despite the inconsistent play, despite the fact that they couldn't really find any continuity in what they were doing. They still found a way to make a way to get down the field to score the touchdown and showed some gravitas by going for 2 points, which ultimately gave them the 1-point win. So you love that grit. You want to see that continue moving forward. And for Brown, it's about being efficient and making sure you protect the football. They got out of their game plan early last weekend with the turnovers, and it wasn't as efficient as they usually are. If they get back to efficiency, I think this team can really find the success they're looking for to close out the season. Next, we'll leave Rhode Island and head over to the Yale Bowl in Connecticut, where the Bulldogs welcome in the Princeton Tigers, and this may be the Ivy League game of the week. And Princeton's defense has been box office all season long. You're talking about a defense that hasn't allowed over 20 points all season long. They face a stiff test this weekend in a Yale run game led by Trey Peterson, who has a great skill of ability on the field, able to find those little creases in that line of scrimmage and squirt through and get down the field. He's a chunk playmaker, so you're going to have the strength of the run game of Yale taking on a very stout defensive front of the Princeton Tigers. So strength versus strength, we'll see how it all plays out there in Connecticut. Next, we'll travel over to Ithaca, where the Cornell Big Red welcome in the Dartmouth Big Green. And for Dartmouth, it's about playing the complete game. I feel like all throughout the course of the season, we've seen parts of excellence within this Dartmouth program, whether they're tackling well in the open field, whether they're running the football very well, whether they're throwing the football efficiently or just playing great team defense, but we haven't seen it collectively together for all 4 quarters. I think that needs to be the case for this team. And Cornell, they can't allow themselves to beat themselves. They're still a young football team. They're not there yet to where they can overcome some of these early turnovers. If they can play efficient football, complementary football, don't turn the ball over and play a clean game, an efficient game on offense, I'm talking about from a situational perspective, I feel like Cornell can definitely end the season on a high note. And lastly, we travel down to Philadelphia, where the Penn Quakers welcome in the Harvard Crimson. And if you're Harvard, it's about capitalizing on the opportunities that you get in a football game. A play doesn't care who makes it. It just wants to be made. They turned the ball over a lot. I'm talking about their defense was able to turn Columbia over a lot, but they weren't able to capitalize on those turnovers and ultimately came to bite them in the end. So if you're going to get those freebies from offense, capitalize on the opposite side of it. So that's going to be the mission in this game. If Penn gives them opportunities, they have to take advantage. And if you're the Penn Quakers, man, you look at what this offensive line has done all season long. I think their offensive line is a big reason why they've had a lot of success, led by offensive tackle Jack Purcell. That offensive line, to me, sets the standard for what we're seeing from Penn this year and why they're on the cusp of playing for an Ivy championship if they're able to take care of business this week against Harvard, setting up the game next week against Princeton. So that's it for this week's Ivy League football preview for week number 9. I am Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Be sure to follow me on all of my social media accounts, Twitter at FBallGamePlan, Instagram, all one word, Football Game Plan. And for more Ivy League football content, keep it locked here on ESPN+.